Okay, well, I got just a little bit of an update for you, so I thought I'd share with you. I've been doing a little work here on the machine itself. Got the switch moved, electrical switch moved from over here down to here. I think I'm going to like it in that position better. It's not permanently done yet. It's got a little too much flop in it the way I've got it set. And what I did is I took one of the bases that I had cast for underneath the collet rack, which we've also got mounted, and we just bent some conduit, welded us a mounting bracket on it, and we've got it mounted to the chip tray. Same way we've done with the collet rack, we've got it mounted to the chip tray too. And another one of my little bushings, this one I have to powder coat up, and actually the other one I'll probably have to repowder coat because I powder coated it and did this, and I didn't think I was going to mount the chip today, so I just went ahead and machined out that one. But anyway, we've got those machined out, and I think this is their positions where they're going to be. Seems to be a little more convenient to have the switch up here. Maybe it could be a little bit lower, but we've got interference issues on that end too. So all in all, I'm real happy with that mounting. Collet rack, that's where it's going to mount. I've got 2 of the 3 bolt holes mounted. The third one will go into the stand, and I will probably drill and tap that, but I'll wait until I've got the stand completely done and the chip tray positioned exactly where I want it, which it's in the proper position, but I'll get it set there, and then we'll go ahead and drill the chip tray and probably tap into the stand. So that part of it's done. Moved the light down a little bit farther, got the wiring redone, and I think I'm real happy with all of that. So probably going to spend the rest of the day working on the little fixture to slit the bushings for the adjustable tool holders. You know, I showed you those tool holders. I got video of that, but I lost part of the audio, so we're probably going to reshoot a little bit of that because I want, I think, 4 more tool holders for the bigger turret tailstock for on the Sheldon. I've got, I want 2 of those for adjustable tool holders, and the other 2 adjustable tool holders, I've got one product that I produce that I'm going to dedicate to 2 of those tool holders, and I'll just bore them to the proper size for that tooling. So anyway, we're making forward progress. Got to start working on the stand so I can get that done and painted. Probably going to build an oil tray for underneath, probably the left-hand end, to hold grease gun, whey oil, lubricants, things like that. I'll put them in a little metal canister and it'll be mounted. Want to do that. We're going to mount some sort of a coolant tank and then a tank for a fog buster, probably on the right-hand end underneath the stand. And we'll have to do bracketry to run our air fittings because I'll want air both to go to the fog buster, and I like having air to blow things off anyway on the lathe. We'll get that set up, figure out exactly how we're going to do that, and once I get that stand done, the chip tray done, why then we can move on to the tool storage underneath. We're going to build a cabinet to go underneath there, probably a fairly nice cabinet to hold all our tooling and accessories because we've already amassed a fair amount of tooling for this. What else do I have for you? I guess that's about it concerning the lathe. Any questions you've got, why, leave them in the comment section for me below and I'll do my best to answer them. Next project's coming up Atlas-wise. Well, next project's coming up. I'm working on the Quorn tool and cutter grinder quite a bit. I was going to start turning the wheel arbors for that today, but I don't think I'm going to make it that far. I think I've got other things that need to be done first. And I'll be working on that little tool and cutter grinder. As far as Atlas machines, I noticed when I was shaving off the rear tool post for this, I had it mounted up in the shaper, and I noticed the shaper clapper assembly seems a little bit loose. I think I've probably got a worn feed screw and nut for the down feed on the tool holder, so I think that'll probably get torn apart. I may do that tomorrow, but I think I'll probably have to build a new lead screw and nut for that. Eventually that little shaper will be completely rebuilt, but I'm still using it for other projects right now, so I think we'll go ahead and do the repair on the down feed assembly if I can do that fairly quickly so I can keep that in service until we actually get ready to work on it. I do have another little Atlas mill. I've got one operational Atlas mill that I'm not running very much yet. We'll get it out and get it cleaned up and start working with it a little bit more too. But I do have parts for another Atlas mill. It's the production model of mill with, it's got hand lever controls for it. I've got the main castings for that. I'm missing one component that's not specific to that, and then I need drive assembly for it and things like that. But for the main set of castings, I've got everything except, like I say, one casting. I've kind of been watching for it on eBay. There's one on right there now, but I'm not willing to give what they want for it. I think it's way too outrageous, and if it comes right down to it, why, I'll make patterns and either cast that or have it cast and start with a base or with a raw casting to do that assembly. They're out there, so I'll keep watching for it. It's not a project I'm quite ready to start yet, but we'll just slowly start working on it. It'll be an ongoing project, very much like this lathe is. It's from castings on up. Atlas machines. If you have to enjoy the little Atlas machines to go through, rebuild them, and use them as a primary machine in your shop. And it depends on what you want. I really enjoy these little machines. I enjoy working with them, and of course I build quite a few parts for them. So, you know, it benefits me too to be working with them. If you've got the machine that's been handed down from your grandfather and your father, and it has value to you in that respect, then it's a great machine to have in your shop. And if it's a machine you've got there, a great machine to have in your shop. If you're going out and investing money in a primary machine or primary machine tools for your shop, I wouldn't be buying Atlases. There's a whole lot of stuff that's a whole lot better machines for probably the less money ultimately when you're done. If I was just looking for a machine to use and wanted a primary machine, I could go and buy a Grizzly lathe, you know, like the little G0602 that I converted to CNC, and in all honesty, it's by far a much better machine than these little Atlases are. And when you compare them side by side, if you had a brand new Atlas compared to the imported machine, I would probably take the brand new Atlas. But see, the import machine is still probably a better machine than what these little Atlases are. They were designed as a inexpensive lathe for the home shop, and for their day they were a fine machine. Now when we start looking for parts on these, and of course primarily we're seeing them on eBay, a lot of these get traded on Craigslist or, you know, whatever the case may be locally, and they can be found there, so you're not paying shipping on parts and things like that. But when we primarily look at these machines or machine parts on eBay, they're way overpriced. You know, they're not worth what they're asking, and they're not usually represented exactly as they are. If you go and find a production tailstock, for example, and it's being sold as is, you know, look at the pictures, this is what you're getting, then you're getting a fair bargain. When you start looking at things that are saying owner refurbished or new old stock, although there's some new old stock parts out there, but you see a lot of stuff that's listed and it says excellent condition. No such thing. You know, we throw around these terms of perfect and excellent and as new, and they're not. When you look at parts from a 40 or a 50-year-old machine, even if they're brand new, they're not in excellent condition. It's very rare that you're going to find them, and the prices are way overinflated. When you look at, we can use the milling machine, arbor drivers. I build arbor drivers. You know, I've got them for sale. They're on my website. When I look at them on eBay, I see used ones or original Atlas, which who knows if they're original Atlas or not. Chances are they are, but I've never seen one that's been marked, you know, that has Atlas's name on it. They didn't mark those. So, and I've seen them beat to crap, and they're trying to get $5, $10, $15 more than what I sell them for on the website. So, you know, you pays your money and you takes your chances. But right now there's a mill table for the production mill, and I've got one. I've got the production table for mine. It's been repaired. It had the T-nut slots broken at some point, at least partially, and it was machined out, and they had steel inserts put in, and the job on it was good. Whoever did the repair did a good functional job. You can tell it's not original, but the one I see listed on the auction site right now, I think they want about $400 for it. And the guy that's selling that, I think, is probably smoking dope, and the guy that gives $400 for that is definitely smoking dope. So, you know, you pay as your money, takes your chances, and that's my opinion. You know, I love working with the little machines. I have a lot of fun with them, but from an economic standpoint, it's not a good investment. You know, they're parting them out on eBay because they can make more money parting them out than they can selling them as a complete machine. You know, I look at complete milling machines and complete lathes. I think there's a mill on there for about $1,300. That's probably a fair price for that machine, but there again, you can go buy an imported vertical machine, have a better machine for the same amount of money, and you've got a much more functional machine than you do on the little Lathes. From my standpoint, these are great second operation machines. You know, this will spend its life turning short pieces of 1/2 inch or 3/8 stock, just like I did for the bushings, and it'll do that all day long very happily, and it can be a profitable operation for me as a second operation lathe because I don't have to tie up a newer machine or a more functional machine to do one-off things. You know, I'm going to convert this over to turn the 1/2 inch bushings, and I didn't have a 1/2 inch collet, 3C collet. So I've got a 3C collet ordered. It'll be here next week. I don't have to convert this machine to use to do anything else with it. You know, I can leave this machine, so I don't have to break down the setup. When I convert to the 1/2 inch bushings for the 1/2 inch adjustable tool holders, all I've got to do is change the length and adjust my stops. You know, I'll change the length on it, which can be done, change out the collet, but the cross slide doesn't need to be changed at all other than to adjust the stops for the bevel on the edges. And then I'll adjust the length on the tail stock for the 2 positions that it's there. And so for me, it's great. I don't have to change anything. I don't have to take the time to break this setup down to do another operation and then set it back up with virtually the same setup. So as a second operation machine for me, these are great little machines and to do things like that. By the same token, for the amount that it will get used, I would have been far better to invest money in a new machine. So that's just kind of my ramblings on, that's kind of my take on these machines. Love the little Atlases. Like I say, I produce a lot of parts for them, and I'm adding more parts as I go along. So yeah, you make your choices, you pay your money, and you take your chances. So that's kind of where you're at. So anyway, I'm going to spend the rest of the day making the fixture, I think, to slit the bushings for the adjustable tool holders. Those bushings are actually the same bushings that will fit in the tap and die head for threading on this. I haven't shown those yet. We'll do a series on building some of those, and that'll be coming up here real directly. That takes the same bushing, so we've got same purpose there. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at. Hopefully you found something interesting. Hopefully you tolerated my ramblings a little bit. And as always, you know, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, why, you might want to hit it. And the bell notification will let you know when I put out a new video. Any comments or suggestions, leave them in the comments section for me below. And as always, guys, thanks for taking the time to watch. I appreciate it.